Hey, Dale actually is our county auditor, and he's served as such for the last 9 years. He's both the Nueces County Auditor and the budget officer, and he's also a CPA. In counties with a population of more than 225,000, the county auditor serves as the budget officer for Commissioners Court. However, Commissioners Court in counties with more than 125,000, they can alternatively establish a budget office and appoint a county budget officer to prepare the budget. Every member of the county auditor staff assists in the preparation of the audit of the annual budget. My name is Lisa Davis, and I am the one and only budget accountant. I'll be your best contact for assistance in all things budget, how to properly prepare and submit your budget requests, personnel requests, capital and non-capital outlay requests, budget change orders, budget transfers, everything to do with budget. I'm your best contact. I can also assist you or your staff with determining proper coding for expenses and analyzing budget revenue and expenses as well as trends. Harry Horak and Julian Mendoza are our IT pros, and they're your first contact to get access to any of our accounting software. We use one solution for our financial software, and OpenGov is our budgeting software. They can also help you troubleshoot problems using this software, and they are available to train you and your staff on how to utilize the software to complete any tasks, and they can also create reports. Can you please make sure that you're muted? All right, thank you. Benjamin Avalos is a familiar name to some of you who have been with the county for a while. He retired about 3 years ago, and he just recently returned, but to a different position. He is our accountant now. He's extremely knowledgeable of all things that have to do with one solution. We were just starting to implement OpenGov budgeting software when he originally retired, so this will be his first year using the OpenGov software. Cale Brown is a member to our team that started earlier this year, and he has hit the ground running. He'll be your contact for information regarding special motions and can assist with accounts payable questions. If you did have any other accounts payable questions regarding payment after the invoice has been received in one solution, you can always submit your question via email to accounts.payable@nuecesco.com. Elba Fuentes is the supervisor of internal audit. She knows so much about so much. She's a wealth of knowledge. If your department routinely collects revenue, then you will probably be required to submit a monthly report to Elva and her internal audit staff, and they will be able to assist you with what's required to be submitted. Lucio Cruz is our revenue cash manager, and he can assist and help with revenue questions. He works closely with Treasury. If you have any payroll questions, please email payroll.ao@nuecesco.com. And if you need help with something that I haven't touched, please contact Sabra Robinson, our administrative assistant. She is super helpful and can probably direct you to whomever you need to get to. Okay, the agenda's lengthy, but it's going to go fast. Maybe not. First, I'm going to go through the PowerPoint to show you the different parts of OpenGov. Then we're going to practice working in a request and navigating through OpenGov, after which we're going to go through the personnel request using the PDF form. And lastly, I'll go over some additional helpful information. So there's some terminology that's unique to the OpenGov Budget Builder. A budget instance. There are multiple proposals within a budget instance. The budget instance would be similar to our budget year. Proposal. Every budget department number has a single proposal. Some of you might be preparing multiple budget proposals, like public works that includes roads and bridges, engineering, as well as most of the county buildings. And others might just have a single department, like each of the Justice of the Peace offices. Worksheet. Most budgeted department numbers will see worksheets in OpenGov, an operating budget worksheet and a capital and non-capital outlay worksheet. Account strings. The chart of accounts refers to the chart of accounts within OpenGov, which does vary from the chart of accounts that the county uses. It is for this reason that our department creates the templates for each of the requests for you. Base budget. The starting point for the 22-23 budget year. Even though Commissioners Court is starting with the 21-22 adopted budget as the base budget, it does not mean that you are assured of receiving the same funding for the upcoming 22-23 year. Every budget category and line item will be reviewed. Additions and/or subtractions may result after determining the availability of funds. Okay, OpenGov is a cloud-based platform that Nueces County utilizes to submit operating and capital outlay budget requests. It is exclusively for the use of the public sector, which are schools, local and state governments, including the budgeting and planning software that we're going to be utilizing, as well as reporting, communications, and performance software. The budget adoption process. So your budget request is due no later than Friday, May 6th. That's 2 Fridays from now. Departments will have the opportunity to meet with the Commissioners Court to discuss any of their requests if they would like, but this year they will not be mandatory. If you would like to schedule a request to meet with Commissioners Court, those dates are going to be June 6th and 7th and June 9th and 10th. And you would need to call Teresa McLemore in Commissioners Court Administration to schedule a departmental briefing with Commissioners Court. Those budget workshops are going to continue all the way from June 6th through August. At the end of July, we calculate the tax rates. The proposed budget is filed with the county clerk on Friday, September 2nd, and it will be available at that time online under the county auditor's link. The meeting to adopt both the tax rate and the budget will be Wednesday, September 7th this year. So you'll be able to log into OpenGov with the control panel. Right here, you'll be able to click this link. This screen should look familiar. If you can't log in and you forgot your password, just click this little button right here, forgot your password. Whenever you open up the OpenGov software, once you're logged in, you're going to click the budget button and select the department that you want to work on. This is new. We're no longer requesting that you provide goals or productivity measures. We've wiped that away. The goals, performance measures, those are gone, at least for now. The departments will not be requested. If your department is not requesting any changes for the 22-23 budget year, or either the operating budget, capital outlay, or non-capital outlay, or personnel, please let us know using this space. Please let us know using this space in the narrative box. You can also use this place to request auditor-controlled items. Those are the items that we prepare the budgets for, and they're not included in your operating budget. That's going to include your postage, fuel, electricity, the RICO leased copiers, the contract leased vehicles, the building and space rent, insurance, interlocal agreements, capital leases. You only need to let us know about any price increases or new services that are being added. Our office already takes into account any adjustments for postage or the RICO leases into account whenever we do the budget for those. You would also need to tell us if you had any new utilities that have been activated and funded by either the department that you're working on or another department during this budgeting period all the way through September. This is also the space where you can enter the budgets that are controlled by other departments. This would include the items that you're wanting to request, but those items are budgeted under another department. A lot of departments have requested buildings, maintenance and repair for enhancements to their office space. That's actually budgeted under Juan Pimentel and Public Works. Go ahead and enter your request here, but you need to contact Public Works to notify them as soon as possible so that your request can be added to their 2022-2023 budget. And just remember that his budget requests are due the exact same date that your request is. So if you want your item to be included on their budget, you need to contact them ASAP to let them know what you're wanting so that they can provide them the information that they need in order to include that request. Same thing goes for computer software. If your computer software is currently budgeted by IT in IT, you need to let them know of any enhancements or adjustments that you need for that software so that they can include that with their request. All right, if you need to attach additional documents, it's still at the same place, right there on that same proposal screen at the bottom. You still attach that just like you would attaching something to an email. Once you get into the proposal, you're going to click on the Expenses tab to move over. And this screen will pop up for your expenses. There's two different worksheets. There's both the capital outlay worksheet and the operating. Okay, the types of adjustments. I wanted to go over these again with you because a portion of the adjustments changed this year. So this is still the same. It's how you enter the itemized request that's changed. The amount is still the default budget. So it is a amount change, either an increase or a decrease from the base budget figure. A percentage, if you change it down to the percentage one, that's going to be a percentage increase from your base budget figure. Zeroes out the base budget. You don't want to do that unless you're wanting to completely wipe that line item from your budget or that budget category from your budget. And replace. The replace with an X replaces the base budget with the figure that you enter. This is very important. The itemizations by default use replace. So any time that you enter an itemized budget, it is going to automatically replace the amount that you entered with the, it'll automatically replace the base budget with the amount that you entered. And your bulk adjustments can still be at the very top of the screen in that drop-down box. Okay, so this is where it changed. I'm showing you that whenever you enter a single line adjustment, please notice that I entered a decrease of $1,000 for the adjustment input. That automatically calculated a $1,000 decrease in the adjustment, which is a total change of a decrease of 6%, giving me a proposed budget of $17,000. That's $18,000 minus $1,000 equals $17,000. You'll notice that all of the items on the drop-down reflect the dollar sign, which is the amount. Now, whenever I go over and click the plus to do itemization, that's all going to change. So I've just added 3 lines to this worksheet. You'll see that where the dollar sign was before, it has been replaced with the X because it is now a replacement. Because I had already entered a value into the adjustment input box, the very first line reflects that adjustment already in the itemization. So it's showing the adjusted input as the first line to the base calculation. You're still seeing in the adjustment total the adjustment of a decrease of $1,000, which is still 6% and gives you a proposed budget of $17,000. It's just the way it looks. It's different from how it was last year. You do still have to enter base budget to keep your base budget. Okay, before the trash can was right next to the plus. Now you only see the trash can to remove the line whenever you've added the line. It doesn't pop up as an actionable item until after the additional lines have been added. Okay, so here I'm going through the example of how you reflect a request. In the above example, this department had $8,500 already budgeted in the base budget for salaries temporary. I indicated that that was the base budget amount by on the first line, leaving the $8,500 and typing base budget in the account description. Then I'm requesting a year-round temporary employee budget assistant. That full-time budget assistant is currently at a 25A01, which is $23.10 an hour. Temporaries can only make 90% of the pay of their full-time equivalent. So 90% of $23.10 is $20.79 an hour. However, all employees, including temporaries, must be paid an hourly rate that is on the current pay schedule. The closest pay group hourly rate to $20.79 an hour is a 23A01 at an hourly rate of $20.60 an hour. Temporary employees cannot work more than 29 hours a week. Therefore, I'm requesting a year-round temporary budget at a 2301, which is $20.60 an hour for 29 hours a week to get a weekly pay of $597.40 for 52 weeks, which equals the $31,064.80. Nueces County rounds all budget to the nearest whole dollar, so that is reflected as $31,065. I then requested to add a seasonal temporary employee during the spring. That same calculation for that same person, instead of doing it for the 52 weeks a year, I'm now doing it for 13 weeks, which is the period from April 1st to June 30th at $597.40 a week. So that is now $7,766.20, which is rounded down to $7,766. Be sure in your description to enter your hourly rate and the number of weeks that you're requesting that request. As you can see, I've also made a separate entry to request a cell phone for the accounts payable supervisor. A cell phone should be requested at $50 a month, which comes to $600 a year. And instead of doing an itemized budget, I just added that increase of $600 per year in the budget adjustment column. It's good to always show the per item, per month, per hour charges in the description. You can see that all of those items do add up together to come up to the $47,331 that's in gray at the top of that calculation adjustment. For budget requests, the descriptions try not to be too vague or too specific. It should be a generalized description, typically a noun. So you want it to be something that anybody, no matter what their level of expertise is, can read and know what it is. You want to put gun, computer, software license, virtual training course. If you put that you want a MAG 360 or some specific type of gun, you name a software, nobody's going to know what it is. Feel free to include the make, model, specifications, any of that information that you want, but you need to also include something very generalized so that people can understand what it is easily. You have to remember that these workshops are attended by the general public also. They can log in and watch them on the public access channel, and so they need to be able to easily understand what you're requesting in those requests. You'll notice that the adjustment amount on the top line is reflecting the total requested increase or decrease in the example that I gave below or previously. If you are missing a budget category or line item, you need to contact the county auditor's office to have that missing category or line item added to your request. Don't forget that if you hit reset amount, it is a nuclear option. It completely wipes everything that you've already done, and it's permanently erased. You start all the way over at 0. Capital outlay exception list and non-capital outlay. Each year, every department begins with 0 capital outlay, non-capital outlay requests. These requests do not carry over year to year. It doesn't matter if you're in the general fund, in road and bridge, in fairgrounds. It doesn't matter what fund you're in. You have to request the new items every year. What is capital outlay? It is the items that cost over $5,000. And these are large purchases, such as land, building, infrastructure, property, equipment, heavy machinery. Vehicles are now leased, and any increase to the fleet size needs to be shown on the proposal details for increase to fleet. If you're requesting that an old vehicle get replaced, you can put that there, but you're better off contacting purchasing to let them know about your need to replace that old vehicle so that they could get you to see if they could possibly move you up on the replacement list. If there's something wrong with it, it was in an accident, it's no longer operating, you need to work with purchasing and let them know. Romeo Ramirez would be your contact for that. Exception list items. Those are your items that are less than $5,000, yet they're tagged and tracked like capital outlay. The examples would be your all-terrain vehicles, body camera, radios, both handheld and portable, trailers requiring a license, weapons, computers. You can only include the monitors and software when they're purchased at the same time as the new computer. Cameras, both digital and video, are exception list items. Security cameras are not exception list items. Printers and scanners over $250 are exception list items. That whole list is right there as it has been approved by Commissioner's Court. Items, what is considered non-capital outlay? Non-capital outlay less than $5,000 is exactly what its name implies. It is non-capital outlay that costs less than $5,000 that is not on the exception list. Those examples would be your office furniture, your office chairs, washing machines, dryers, refrigerators, freezers, ovens, heavy equipment attachments that are not purchased at the same time as your budget, or they aren't purchased at the same time that the original heavy equipment is purchased. The revenues, again, the county auditor's office will prepare the revenue budgets for the 22-23 budget year. However, if you have knowledge that would assist us in the preparation of those revenues budgets, please enter the information on the proposal's details dialog box, or email the information to budget@nuecesco.com and CC lisa.davis@nuecesco.com and dale.ashley@nuecesco.com. The activity screen hasn't changed, but it's just wanted to remind you that you can go back and see who made what change when, so that you can see that Lisa Davis, me, I was working in the budget screen for our office getting all these examples ready for you, and it shows you exactly what I entered, when I entered it. Okay, OpenGov still saves every 3 seconds. If you want to export a proposal to Excel, you click the export drop-down. If you want to exit and come back later, you click done. If you're ready for your department heads to review, you can use the comment features. In order to submit your proposals, it's different this year. There's not a button right next to the done button like it had been in the before. I actually had to look and hunt for it. What you do is you come over here to the proposal screen, the collapsed box. When you're ready to submit your budget, you're going to click that proposal summary to expand it. You're going to review, it's going to take you to the balance screen. You're going to review the portion right there, not the revenues, just the expenses. Ignore the deficit, that it doesn't apply. You're going to take the base expenses, what you added or decreased to get your new requested budget. If it's accurate, you're going to click the review tab at the top, and once on the review tab, you're going to click the submit button. You can still use the help button at the bottom. It looks different though, to ask for help and go to the resource center. Okay, personnel requests. Oh, hold on. Does anybody have any questions before I get to the personnel request? No one? All right, here we go. Personnel request. It's going to be the exact same PDF form that we sent out last year. On Friday, I think it was 2 Fridays ago, you should have received an email that had that had a file attached. That file actually had the wrong date at the top of it, so I've reattached it to this training meeting with the correct date at the top. This is the supplemental information that you should have received in that same email. Do not use the projected total costs right here as what the budgeted costs are. That is not, the total cost is not correct. It's the total budgeted costs for the 21-22 year, and it includes both benefits and insurance. Positions are budgeted based on the pay schedule. Both pay schedule A and pay schedule P are available on the intranet. And to see an employee's base salary, what you can do is you can go to their schedule on the group and step that they are located. This form tells you exactly what group and step over here in the green boxes to the right of the screen tells you what, it gives you the position name, the person who occupies that position, and it tells you the pay schedule, pay group, and pay step that that individual is at. This is what your personnel request form should look like. Again, you'll notice that up here at the top, this one says 22-23. If you use the original form that was emailed, it'll say 21-22, and it was a typo. It's been corrected on the attachment to the training class. If you need that form to be re-emailed out to you, I can do that too. Okay, please be sure to enter your department name and number in the box at the top of the screen. Be sure to enter the name of the person that's submitting the request. So you could, so that would be, an example would be Jane Smith on behalf of John Doe. For my office, it would be Lisa Davis on behalf of Dale Ashley. In the box at the very bottom of the form. If you're not requesting any changes, just click the little button in the yellow, click the button right here, saying that you're not, oh my gosh, the lights just went out, saying that you're not requesting any changes for the current budget year. Okay, to request a new position, you would show the new position as a positive. If for the number of positions, you need to use the drop-down menu to select your pay schedule, your pay group, and the step. all new positions start at a step 1. You need to enter the job description or the job title. This should be the official job title that HR has for this position. If it's a brand new position, you would put that new job title there. And the PDF form will automatically calculate the annual salary for that position. Okay, so to reclassify or replace an existing position, you want to show the current position as a negative in the number of positions. So in this request, I'm decreasing 1 senior clerk at a 1301, and I'm changing that senior clerk 1 to a senior clerk 2. So the senior clerk 1 that I currently have is shown as a -1, and by showing that as a negative, it automatically creates a negative salary of $30,700.80. Then on the number of positions for the new position, by showing that as a positive, it automatically, and setting the correct corresponding pay group, schedule, and step, it automatically calculates the annual salary. Because the cost of a reclassified position, whether it is a reclassification or to replace an existing position, is only the net of those 2 positions. So the true cost isn't the cost of the total new position that you're requesting, but the net of the position that you're giving up and the position that you're getting. To show that a position is transferring from one department to another, you want to show that the position is a positive in the number of the positions in the department that the position is moving to. And in the job title, behind the job title that you enter, type transferred from, and then use the 4-digit department number, and so that they can easily identify where this position is coming from. Whenever, same thing in the position, whenever you're on the position that it's moving from, you're going to need to show that as a negative in the number of positions in the department that the position is coming from, and in the job title, type where the position is being transferred to. Please be sure to use the justification box to provide a justification for why this request is needed. If there is no justification, Commissioner's Court doesn't know what you're requesting to do. And if you have an extremely lengthy justification, please type in the box, the attached file, title, department, put your department number, justification for personnel changes request. Attach that justification as a Word document, and then we're able to put that into the software for a presentation should it be necessary. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, this is the last slide, but important information. The budget is due no later than Friday, May 6th. Personnel requests must be emailed to budget@nuecesco.com no later than Friday, May 6th. There will be no extensions. There will be no exceptions. Friday, May 6th is 1 week later than the due date was last year. So you already have an extra week built into this timetable. And if you remember from earlier, we did state that the departmental workshops with Commissioner's Court will be June 7th, 6th, and 7th, and the only way that we can have those requests ready for those dates is if we have them by May 6th. And if you want to request a budget workshop, they're not going to do everybody this year. And if you want to request a departmental briefing workshop with Commissioner's Court, if there is something that you want to specifically address in your budget request with the commissioners, you would need to contact Teresa McLemore in Commissioner's Court admin to schedule that. And again, the dates are June 6th, 7th, 10th, and 11th. Does anybody have any questions? All right, I want to thank y'all for coming. Oh, I have a question. Can you unmute?
I'm the one that raised my hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Deanna.
My
How can I help?
question, yes. Last year, we did not want to do the workshop, but we were required. Is there still going to be a requirement for certain departments?
No, that was what I was saying. Last year, the department workshops were required. This year, they're not required. So if you want a workshop, you need to call Teresa and let her know.
Okay. No, we don't want a workshop.
You want a workshop so that it can be scheduled. And again, those dates that it would be scheduled would be the June 6th, 7th, 10th, and 11th.
Right. Okay. No, we're
All
good.
right.
We didn't want it last year, but so the goals and measures no longer, just recap on that.
No more
Awesome.
goals and measures. You're off the hook. I know
Great.
that was not something that people enjoyed. And we're no longer submitting our budget to GFOA. We just don't have the staff and the resources to be able to do so. And so that requirement's no longer there.
Okay.
Ralph, you had a question? Can you unmute?
No, Teresa, I'm okay now. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Yes, Yolanda. Can you unmute? Yolanda, I can't hear you. Can you unmute? Still can't hear you, Yolanda, if you're saying something.
It's also doing this too. Oh, what the heck? Yeah.
Yolanda, did you have a question? Okay, Yolanda, I can't hear you. I'm going to go ahead and go to Minerva, and then we can come back. Oh, I did have this. If you have questions using OpenGov, you can contact either Harry Horak or Julian Mendoza, and they can help you with both OpenGov and One Solution. If you have any budgeting or personnel requests, I would be your best contact. Please feel free to call me anytime, and well, not anytime. Don't call me at 2 o'clock in the morning. And if you would like, I will be available next week and the beginning of the following week to schedule meetings to meet with departments to walk you through anything that is departmental specific. I'm more than happy to meet with you to answer your questions. We can either talk over the phone or virtually or in person, face to face. You would just need to give me a call to schedule something. Okay, Minnie, what was your question?
Hey, quick question. You indicated the workshops were the 6th, 7th, 10, and 11, but the 11th is a Saturday.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday.
Okay, 6th, 7th, 9th, and 10th. My bad.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, no, I saw somebody that typed in their question into the text box. No, there are not any goals, short-term, long-term, or performance measures necessary. Ralph, you raised your hand again. Did you have any questions? Please unmute.
No, that was my question about the 9th and 10th, but you cleared it up. It's the 9th and 10th. I got it now. Thanks.
Does anybody else have any questions? If you would rather ask your question offline, that's possible too. Just give me a call after the meeting. Anybody whose position is still in my queue, I'm approving as soon as I can. I'm trying. I promise I am. All right, thank you, everyone. Give me a call if you had any department-specific questions. And thank you for coming, and happy budget.
Thank you, Lisa. You did great. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too, bye-bye.